sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Washington Commanders and the Baltimore Ravens. And it comes your way next.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to historic Baltimore, Maryland, and M&T Bank Stadium. Alongside my broadcast partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And as we look at this matchup, every time there's something different to focus on. So I'll just ask you, what do you see here in this one?
Well, Rembrandt, you've given me a pretty blank canvas to focus on, haven't you?
Yeah.
Where do you think I'm going to go with this?
Oh, secondary?
You know me well, right? In a game like this, it's always about the secondary. Can they handle the passing attack and make a few plays?
It's the Battle of the Beltway. Baltimore and Washington are underway. Still going. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. So here are the Commanders making their way out. Leading them out, their young quarterback, the rookie from LSU.
We're seeing it more and more in this league, how teams love to have athletes back there taking the snaps, guys who can throw it and move around and get yardage with their legs if needed. He's one of the best examples that we see out there right now. He can throw for hundreds of yards one week and then run for 100+ the next. He adds an extra dimension that really confounds defenses when he puts it all together.
He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at second down.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
Daniels looking to throw. That's complete to Austin Eckler, the running back. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. And they'll look to avoid an early 3-and-out here on 3rd and 4. Here's Daniels. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 12 yards is the pickup, and it's good for a Washington first down.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
Running on first down, Eckler. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Motion man is Crowder. A quick throw out wide, caught by Crowder. Only able to gain a couple there, and that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards. To throw is Daniels. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens 42. 17 yards that time at a Washington first. And a good sign for them right now to have their young quarterback looking confident on the opening drive.
Now, we haven't met a young quarterback, a veteran quarterback. It doesn't matter. We haven't met a quarterback yet that doesn't tell us he's confident about his abilities, right?
That's true.
But when you're young, it's really important to get off to a good start because it does build up that confidence and allows him to play better as the game goes on.
Especially crucial here on the road. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. To the right side and complete to Thomas. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens 23. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his third completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And a top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running downfield, and hope you can create a little bit of havoc.
A gain of 8 there on the play. And they'll be left with second and a couple.
Well, they're not hiding who their central focus is on offense. Charles, he already now has 4 receptions here on this opening drive.
And I know people who are watching the game are thinking, did they forget about him in the defensive game plan? But it's actually been the opposite. They're giving him a lot of attention, but he's been very creative and savvy in his route running and finding seams and openings in order to create these completions.
He could muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a third and very short.
And they'll try and run the option to pick it up. Robinson will try to pick it up.
And he's able to pick up the first before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4. It goes as a gain of 9, and it moves the chains. A stop there on third. They could have held him to 3 on this opening drive. Now they have to bow their necks on first and goal.
And if I'm looking at this from the offense's point of view, that's a big-time pickup right there. And I go right at him with another momentum play. I go quickly and attack them, because right now they probably have their heads down a little bit since they didn't stop him on third down.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
Sometimes in the run game you can make the argument the quickness beats size. And how about the example right here?
Second and goal from the 6 this time. Once more, here's Eckler. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Nothing doing there as the 13th play of the drive proves to be unlucky. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, but now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. But I'm just wondering, is the head coach thinking, is this 4-down territory? Might he go for it?
Flush to his right. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown.
Jaden Daniels
taking it in from 7 yards away.
And the Commanders are on the board first on the road here in Baltimore.
And this is a balancing act for a head coach with a rookie quarterback. You've got to walk a line with him. You don't want him getting happy feet, but you also don't want to rein in what worked for him in college. And here, he pulls it down, takes it himself, and takes it into the end zone.
Now Cade York for the extra point. And the kick is good, and the Commanders out to a 7-0 lead.
That one was an extended drive, 14 plays all told. And in the end, it's capped off by a 7-yard run.
York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Here comes the Ravens on offense, and the man in charge from Louisville, the former MVP, Lamar Jackson.
Early part of his career, defenses really had to focus on his running ability, and they still do. But now, he's turned himself into a true dual-threat quarterback. When he plants his cleats in the ground and turns it loose, good things happen downfield.
Here's Jackson to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Flowers. So the completion good for 7 there, and it's second down.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
Here's a 2nd and 3 now from the 33.
Now a first carry here for their running back. And trying to push forward, but he is going to be stuffed up in the backfield. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up third down.
Well, that play was over before it even got started. Thanks for nothing, huh? How about that? That sets up a very difficult third down call now.
3rd and 8. Throwing is Jackson. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
That was their first third down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key third down throws.
4th down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt. Back deep here, Jamison Crowder. It's taken to the 26. So a good punt, but a solid 12-yard return. And the Commanders will take over with a 1st and 10. The Commanders going to retake the field for drive number 2. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. And look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down. 3-4 defense, and that O-line really dominated the D-line on that play.
And think of it this way. With a 3-4, you have a natural bubble over each guard because those guys don't have defenders over them. Oftentimes, if you want to run up the middle, they can get upfield and get on the linebackers right now, and that gives the running back a heck of a chance to get into the secondary.
Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. This one caught by Crowder. And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down. That's probably as simple of a throw as he'll have all game.
And good for everyone. Good for his completion percentage. Good for the receptions for the receivers. But you know how they work on that. They have footballs with no laces. So that as soon as you get the snap, you're just throwing the football, all right? You're not trying to find the laces and grip it a certain way. That takes time. Just get the ball and throw it. So that's how they practice it all the time now, too.
Throw out wide is incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Now a 2nd and 10. To the air goes Daniels. Crowder's got it over the middle. And he's going to be taken down with the 1st down at the Ravens 21. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect here for another nice gain for a 1st down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in practice.
Now Daniels. This is swung out to Eckler. And he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. So that'll be no better than an incompletion, and that'll bring up 2nd down. They tried to swing it out left into the flat, but the defense, they were very principled there.
It felt very West Coast offense, didn't it? You know their expression, right? On a West Coast offense, when they throw the ball, it's either going to be a touchdown or a check down, meaning they like to press it downfield. If they don't have it, swing it out, which is exactly what we saw there. But how about the great pursuit and tackle to make a nice play?
The improv act there, good for 9, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd and short, 3rd and 1. They'll try to pick up the 1st with Eckler. And here he'll get it down to the 7. The gain of 5 that time gives him the conversion and makes it 1st and goal. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Washington with the football here to begin quarter number 2 as they go to work on a 1st and goal. Eckler now between the tackles, and he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
It's Eckler again. And he gets halfway there from the 6 to the 3 on a gain of 3.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
And this offense on 3rd down today, no problems to this point. A perfect 5 for 5. This is 3rd and goal. Off the play fake, Daniels. Toward the pylon, but it's incomplete. Fine work by the Baltimore defense to help bring up 4th down. So it's been a long drive. They've held the ball for quite a while. Now what do you do here?
Well, to me, at this stage after this drive, this close to the goal line, 3 points would be a letdown. I'm going for it here.
They'll run for it with Eckler. And he will take it in. Touchdown, Commanders. Austin Eckler, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Commanders' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. So 4th and goal, their head coach gave that offensive line one more chance to punch it in, and this time they were successful.
They certainly paid off the coach's confidence, didn't they? And how about the fact that they stayed with the ground game? Because a lot of times in that situation, partner, we see teams try and roll the quarterback out, give him a little run-pass option, and treat it like a 2-point conversion play. In this case, they went with a little bit more power and got it done.
Extra point by York is up and good. And it's now 14-0. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Baltimore set to take over here for their 2nd possession of the game. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still 2nd quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. From the 34-yard line, here's 2nd down and 2. And they'll send the tight end in motion left. Now it's Jackson. And he'll go right back to Andrews. And he's stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
A yard all they need, but it's 3rd down. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. Now it's Jackson. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. Jackson to Andrews on that one. 1st down, Baltimore.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. Jackson, options out left. And maybe the wrong read there as he's going to go down immediately. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know, defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss. They go play action with Jackson. Out to his left. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down. The tight end in motion right. And now Jackson will look to throw it. This throw taken in by Isaiah Likely. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
2nd and 10. Here's Jackson. Finds his man over the middle. It's Likely. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. To throw again is Jackson. That is caught. And he'll get this down inside the 5 to the 4 before he's out of bounds. And they got 3 yards. That's enough. A conversion, and now it's 1st and goal.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a 1st down.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
This is a critical sequence here for this offense. Things really haven't gone their way so far. This could be their chance to get back into it, but they've got to find a way to punch this ball in.
Jackson. And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. Jamin Davis able to run him down for a loss of a yard.
So they were stopped trying to run the ball on 1st down. Now they take a sack on 2nd down. The offensive coordinator's got to find a way to flip the script on the defensive coordinator because right now the defense has the advantage.
Big play coming here. It's 3rd and goal. Jackson. And in for the Ravens touchdown. Zay Flowers, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Ravens have cut it back within a score.
Obviously, Brandon, they couldn't get it all back with just 1 score, but that touchdown chips into the lead, and now it makes the comeback a little bit more manageable.
Justin Tucker for the extra point. And that one makes it 14-7. So that one a 13-play drive in total. And it's capped off with a Ravens touchdown. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. And the Washington offense heading out. So for this offense, Charles, remember, drive 1 made it to the end zone. Drive 2 resulted in a touchdown as well. Now they'll try to make it 3 for 3.
Yeah, and you know, they told us all week that this was the plan and this is what they wanted to execute, but did they really believe it would happen this well, this efficiently? I know they'll take it, and afterwards they'll say, there was never a doubt in our minds we were going to be successful in this one.
He was trying to get it to Zach Ertz that time, and it's second down.
Option play, and they'll give to Eckler.
And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down.
It's a pickup of 12 and a Commander's first down.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
He'll get this to Eckler. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
From the 43, here's 2nd and a couple.
Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. Up the middle with Eckler.
And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down. This is 2nd and 8.
Going quickly here to Thomas. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the second quarter. 14-7. This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard.
Throwing now is Daniels.
On the screen, this is Eckler. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens 33. The defense surrenders a 13-yard pass play there on 3rd and 1.
And that's a gutsy call there on 3rd and short, because that's a play that's got a good chance of being blown up in the backfield for a big loss of yardage. But nice job out wide to gather in that screen pass, use his blockers well, and pick up the first down.
Daniels looking to throw.
A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
Here's Daniels.
Thomas has got it. Complete.
The Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts.
As the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on second down. To throw is Daniels. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And the Commanders are going to be set up with a first and goal coming up as they get him down at the 6-yard line.
And sometimes when you run a screen pass down in the red zone, it's really tough to create a lot of room to operate. The field's pretty condensed. But that was really well designed there, and they're able to pick up a first down.
Operating from the gun, Daniels. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
You got to be precise with your throws, especially in this situation. You're inside the 10-yard line going into the end zone. But sometimes the emotion, the excitement, sometimes the decisions just aren't made very well because of that.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's second and goal now. Back to throw again. Looking for McLaurin, and he's got him. Touchdown, Washington. A great play there as the first half is winding down. And the Commanders will extend their lead here just before halftime. So, Charles, that's 3 touchdowns on 3 drives, and it's just been an offensive barrage so far.
Great word, partner, using barrage right there. I'm going to add another word if you don't mind. How about perfection? No surprise that they're leading right now. Absolute dominance throughout this ball game and no signs of slowing down.
Extra point by York is up and good. And it's now 21-7. That one in the books as a 12-play drive. And it's finished off by a Terry McLaurin touchdown. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And with 8 seconds on the clock, really not a lot of time to try to put anything together. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll send you down to Orlando and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
It was Austin Eckler who was the star of that first half. He had a touchdown run that helped get his guys this halftime lead.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Ravens set to receive the football, trailing here as we resume action in the third quarter. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. By no means certainly are they out of this contest. 2-score game start of the third quarter, but you feel like if they don't get points and then they give up points, then it can become a slippery slope. This feels like an important possession.
Yeah, and that slope becomes even more slick if you come away empty-handed on this drive, because then you give them a chance to extend their lead. You need some kind of points here, even if it's just a field goal. It's what I call one of those calming drives, try and slow things down a little bit. They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
And they'll stop him after a gain of a couple to the 33.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. A 3rd down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. To throw is Jackson. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And they do finally get him at the 12. A big play there on the catch and run. 55 yards.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, if only they were all this easy, because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
A real field flipper there, as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Aguilar in motion left. Throwing is Jackson. This is caught. Touchdown! Nelson Aguilar. A 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Ravens have got it back to within a score.
The catch and the touchdown, they were the end result of a terrific route run by the receiver.
Tucker now for the extra point. It's up and good. This becomes a 21-14 ball game now. A drive there of just 4 plays.
And it was capped by the touchdown pass to Nelson Aguilar.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
And he'll be stopped up at the 25. First possession of the second half now for Washington. But Charles, they still have the lead despite their defense giving up a touchdown on the previous possession. And even though they have that lead, it feels like a back-and-forth ball game where to try to get momentum back, maybe they need at least 3 here on this drive.
I think you're right about that, Brandon, because your game plan doesn't change. But I do believe your urgency does because of the last score that went against your team. So what you want to do now is have your own drive and try and make sure that that momentum stays in your camp.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. That's complete as he goes right back to Crowder. And that's good for a gain of 6. And that'll bring us to a 3rd and 4.
I think that was a pretty good read right there. They caught him in zone defense and went to the hitch. And because they're in zone, that creates a natural space between the defenders and the receiver, able to get it to him quickly and let him get upfield.
Working out of the gun, Daniels.
And he's going to be a yard short. Needed 4, but got 3.
And defensively, they had an extra defensive back on the field, their nickel package, and it made a difference. All the receivers were blanketed, so he tried to run for it, but he came up just a bit short.
Here's Tressway now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Here's Hardy set to return. That'll go as a punt of 42, 7 on the return. And the Ravens, they'll take over.
And Baltimore's offense set for this next possession.
And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around.
Here's a 2nd and 5.
Jackson, option right. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Only a yard there on the keeper, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd down.
And if you like defensive football, focus on the defensive end on this play. He does everything exactly right. Reads the play and makes sure he spills it for a small gain.
Here is 3rd down and 4.
Jackson now. A short throw caught by Andrews. 2 yards on the pickup there. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. The Ravens send their punter out now as he'll punt it away for the second time. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. It's a 44-yard punt, just 3 on the return.
And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. And Washington going to come back out here to take over offensively.
The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy? They've been running it well all game, and why not? The big guys up front, they're just having a ball, creating monster holes for their guys to run through.
Now Daniels. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete. Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. On the bootleg, it's Daniels. He'll get this out wide to Eckler.
And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
That's not the first time they've looked his way when they've needed a big play. He's been the go-to guy all game long. And they get the hook up again on 3rd down to keep this drive alive.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
On the option, here's Eckler. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Here's a 2nd and 8. To the air goes Daniels.
It fights him off. Incomplete.
I like his awareness in the pocket there. Nowhere to go with the football. So instead of forcing it to the sideline, he's just going to put this one into the harbor and live to fight another down without getting wet.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Back to throw. Daniels. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll only get this to the 47. He needed a few more yards to pick up the first. The screen good for 6, but it's not enough as it leads to a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive.
We're in Baltimore. 3rd quarter action. 2nd and 10.
Off the play fake. Here's Jackson.
And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
It's been clear in this matchup which side has been the more physical one. It's been this defense. And here's another example on that last play.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Jackson to throw. And they work this well upfield across the 45.
Now a pause, and there's an injured Raven in need of some assistance. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. Aguilar in motion left. Now Jackson taps his forward jet sweep. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
Now Jackson. That's complete. It's Rashad Bateman. And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 29-yard line. 23 yards the pickup there. We couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, one-score game. 1st and 10 here. From the gun, Jackson. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
Here's 2nd and 10. In motion, Aguilar. Again, Jackson. That pass is caught by Hardy. And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 15-yard line. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. In motion right is Aguilar. Now Jackson taps his forward jet sweep. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. A 14-yard pickup. That's 14 yards on 2 straight plays. Boy, an effective play there, getting their wideouts involved in the run game.
And what they're always hoping on that type of a play, that they can get to the end of the line and have a chance to turn it upfield as he did there. That means they controlled the blocking. And
he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Lamar Jackson, a touchdown run there from a yard out. And the Ravens have a chance to tie the ball game here in the final minute of the 3rd. Well, that was all Lamar Jackson all the time on that drive, both through the air and in the end with the touchdown run.
Yeah, how about him doing things a little bit on the reverse side there, Brandon, because he softened him up throwing the football and opened up the running lanes. And when he gets a little bit of a sliver, he's gone. And that's exactly what he did there.
Tucker with the extra point, and we are tied at 21. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it was capped off by the touchdown run that came from Lamar Jackson. A couple of teams locked into a good one here. 21 all the score as the kick's away. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. We got a brand new ball game, all even after that last touchdown, so every drive now becoming a little more critical here in the second half. Throwing to start the drive. Daniels on the move to his left. And he'll slide to a halt here, still a little shy of the first down marker. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
I do think it's fair to say that they were caught off guard a little bit when he decided not to throw it on first down. But give them credit, they recovered in time to deny him the first down yardage. but it's only second and short. So that run is still likely to lead to a new set of downs.
Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play, so it was looking good, but nothing there, and now it's third down and inches. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Baltimore. All even as we get ready to start the fourth. The offense on third down tonight, they've been really good, converting 7 of their 10 tries. They're looking at third and a few inches. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. Move the chains, a gain of 7 on third down. That time the conversion comes courtesy of the RPO.
And know what it did? It moved the sticks. Nice pickup on third down. Even better decision.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's first and 10. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's second and 11. I'm no offensive mastermind, but of all the guys on the field to block, you might want to stop him.
Look, I've got a very simple rule. An unblocked defender is usually your best defender, and he ended up making the play there.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Thomas. And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that's going to bring up third and 2.
And they'll try and run the option to pick it up. And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40.
A really nice effort that time. 12 yards on the keeper, picking up the first.
And that's another big-time run. And it sure looks like the leverage game is being won by the offensive line. They're the low man on just about every snap, and they're winning, pushing back the defensive front and creating great space for their runners.
They go play action. Daniels.
It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up second down. Looking to throw. Daniels to the right side and complete to Thomas. And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And now we've got a third and 4.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Daniels from the gun on third down.
And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him.
With veteran Kyle Van Noy in there to drop him.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
Here's Tressway now as he's on to punt for Washington. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. Out of bounds and close. The question, was it a touchback? No. They'll say it crossed out at the 2-yard line.
The Ravens offense and Lamar Jackson set to take over once again.
excellent placement. And off that bounce, Charles, I didn't know where it was going to go. It can be an inexact science as to where they place it, but they say the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know how they really determine that. And let's face it, at the end of that play, one side's going to be happy, the other team's going to be unhappy. It's like, what do they do, shorten the hypotenuse? I mean, how do they figure that out? You know that stuff. You're the smart guy.
Oh, that's you, partner.
2nd down and 8.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Hill. And from the 4, they get it to the 8 on a pickup of 4.
Here's 3rd and 3.
Now it's Jackson.
He's got his target. That's complete. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yes.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
In motion right is Aguilar. Now it's Jackson. And his throw's going to be incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. They go play action with Jackson. A dump off now to Hill. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Jackson. He's got a man complete.
And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped.
That's a gain of nearly 40 yards on 3rd and medium to pick up the first.
A lot of running backs in the passing game, they're just used to check it down to them or maybe dump off passes. But this guy, they use him to stretch the field, don't they?
He stretched it right there, turned it into a really nice game.
From Commanders territory now, it's 1st and 10
at the 39-yard line. Jackson options out left. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
A little do-it-yourself run right there and a nice gain.
And I like that he knew that that was about all he was going to get. So he did a nice job of protecting himself, took care of the football, took what the defense gave him. If they continue to allow him to do that, they'll find their way taking what they can all the way to the end zone.
Here's Jackson.
A short one there, caught by Likely.
And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 15 yards down to the 15 and a first down.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. In motion right is Aguilar.
They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle.
And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Out on the edge, you love to have cornerbacks like that can bring him down in the run game.
And you're also exposed to everyone. It really becomes a one-on-one play, doesn't it? You're out there by yourself on the edge. The best ones know how to make the play, and we just saw an example of it right there.
Hands it off out of the gun. And he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5. The drive stays alive. A 3rd down gain of 8. Hasn't been his best afternoon on the ground, far from it, but a critical 3rd down conversion.
His afternoon just got better. All right, you're exactly right. It hasn't been his best in terms of yardage, but that run there, that's the one your teammates look to you and go, okay, that's what we want from you. That's what we need. Now they have a chance to keep moving forward and a chance to win the game.
Rolling to his left, and he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Getting down to the good stuff, all tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They've got it 2nd and goal as they look to grab a late lead. They'll try to run this one in. And he's not going to push his way forward. He's going to be stopped at the 2-yard line.
Partner, you've got about 20 coaches on your payroll, but there's 60,000 of them in the stands. I don't think any of them like that play.
And the later we go, it's starting to sound like 100,000 in here. This is 3rd and goal. Hill. And he is going to lose yardage here. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts, as it'll come with an even 90 seconds remaining on the clock. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This for the lead in the final stages. Tucker's kick is good, and they have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes. So he waited on the sideline for his first chance in the ball game, and it didn't come until the 4th quarter, but he connects there, a big one to give him the lead.
Boy, you talk about coming in cold. I don't care how many times you kick it into a net. You're not really ready when you go out there and all that beef is coming at you trying to block the kick. Big spot, and he delivers.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Now Washington down 24-21. A minute 24 to go. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on 1st down. He'll look to throw. Pass caught by Crowder. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. Not good. They didn't move the football an inch, and precious time ticking off the clock. They'll try again here. 2nd and 10. He's back to throw. Pass complete. Thomas. Now Washington going to use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds remaining in the football game. Final minute, 1 timeout remaining. 1st and 10. Back to throw. And now time will be called here as Washington has an injured player down on the field. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. Here's 1st and 10. to throw. Crowder's got it over the middle. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Very sharp here to start this drive, 3 for 3.
Yeah, I like the way he's running this 2-minute drill. Very sharp, very precise in throwing the football.
Here's 2nd down. They'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go.
A lot of practice time, a lot of thinking goes into 2-minute drills, even on the defensive side. So now you want to make sure the guys understand. Continue to be aggressive, but make sure you're smart in doing so.
Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This to potentially send us to overtime. York able to send this one through. And that will tie this game here in the final minute of play. So in the final minute, they turn it over to their kicker to get him back to even, and he does not disappoint.
Brandon, do you think the pressure ever gets to this guy? Because I sure don't. That was pretty smooth right there. I tell you, he better not rest on his laurels because there's a good chance they may need him again if this game goes to overtime.
And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee, and they'll start things out at the 25. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And Charles, obviously not much time left. I'm curious to see if there's enough for them to get into field goal range and try to win this thing.
And partner, you and I both know the safe calls to kneel and just take it into overtime. But it's also very tough to pass up a chance to win it right now as well. But remember, if you do attempt that, it's got to be a big play downfield and still leave yourself enough time to get your field goal unit out there and kick for the win.
Here comes 2nd down and 5. Throwing, Jackson. Connecting with Aguilar. Well, here's a big one. You can just feel it. This is 3rd down now. Jackson. And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down. So 4 quarters wasn't enough, and we are off to overtime. Don't change that dial. So the first chance of this overtime will go to Washington as we are back underway. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Opening drive of overtime. Both teams will get a possession, barring a defensive score. Here's 2nd down. Oh, he'll take a shot from McCaffrey downfield. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
So a big play in this opening drive of overtime. Now looking at a 3rd and 3. Out of the gun, Eckler running it. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. Defensively, they rally the troops to force 4th down after that 7-yard pickup back on 1st. The temptation to go for it probably there. Always is, especially in overtime. Got to punt it, though.
I think you're right. I think that you absolutely have to punt it away and trust your defense, especially play a little field position here. But you're so right about the temptation. Another way to satisfy that, though, line up in punt formation and fake it. That's another way to get it done.
Fair catch called. It's taken in right at the 20-yard line. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground.
And they'll get to him quickly here as he'll get a yard, just a yard to the 22.
This being their 2nd opportunity in overtime, 3rd overall drive, see if they can settle into a rhythm.
And that's what you're looking for. Get a few first downs, move the ball downfield, have some confidence, get yourself in a spot where you can at least kick a field goal to win it. But I tell you this, if I'm the play caller, I'm looking at that part of my sheet that says playmakers. Get the ball in their hands, critical situation, now's their time.
His throw incomplete.
Certainly looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Throwing is Jackson.
And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home.
They bring a man off the corner that time, and he gets home for a loss of 6.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
The Ravens send their punter out now. On for a very important punt here in overtime. Now, fair catch is called for and taken at the, we'll call it the 37-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Here's Eckler to begin the drive. And that one goes for about 6 as he's taken down just shy of the 45.
Well, we all know the guy carrying the ball is going to get the credit both in the stat line and probably in the newspaper. But guess what? Those guys creating holes, they couldn't feel better about themselves right now. Offensive line, tight end, probably even the wide receivers are involved. They're moving the ball well.
A give, Eckler running to the right.
And he'll get maybe a couple, if that, up to the 46.
But that's all about doing the dirty work right there defensively. 2nd and short yardage, that's all about plugging those gaps, not giving the running back a crease to run through, and has a nice job to hold him just a couple and force a 3rd down.
3rd and 2. Option play, and they'll give to Eckler.
And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45.
88 yards rushing now for the ball game on 24 carries.
I'd sure love to offer some advice to the defensive coordinator, but his guys are just getting run over by an offense that's executing like a well-oiled machine.
1st and 10, and they've got 3 tight ends out there. A jumbo package look.
On the give, this is Eckler. And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Straight ahead, it's Robinson.
And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. That burst good for 20 and a first down. Once he broke through that first wave of defenders, there was a pretty big gap there for him to run.
And it helps that they were in a dime defense. That's 6 defensive backs. So this is why a lot of teams now are searching for those linebacker safety combo type guys who can add a little bit more size on the defensive side of the ball, but can still run as well, because when you run against 6 DBs with some bigger offensive linemen, you often get this result.
Well, the entire game coming down to this kick from Cade York. This to win it in overtime. And he got it. The kick is good in overtime. He's able to split the uprights. And the Commanders are going to win this football game. And for the visitors, it is going to be a happy flight home. It is always such a treat, Charles, in the NFL when you can go on the road and get a victory, and that's exactly what they accomplished here today.
The trip home, so much sweeter, isn't it? All the noise they heard before, how tough it is to win on the road, how tough it is to play in this stadium, how hyped up that crowd's going to be. They just used it as fuel, came in full of confidence, believed in themselves, and got it done.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. From Baltimore, so long, everybody.